If you're like me and you sell things online, it's great practice to offer your customers insurance. Insurance protects you, and it protects them as well. It only takes a couple lost packages or things that get stolen until you realize, hey, I've lost some money. It's time to have an insurance policy. I actually sell Lego online if you're not familiar with my channel, but this video will actually help any online seller. I'll start out with this video by talking about insurance policies, then I'll move into what you should charge for insurance based on the shipping companies you're using. Then I'll show you how I add insurance to any given label that I'm putting on a package via ShipStation, but this will also help you kind of figure out where to add insurance on other shipping platforms as well. And lastly, for those of you that are all about the Lego Bricklink like me, I will show you how I add insurance to those orders. And lastly, I'll just talk about insurance in terms of, what could you do if somebody's paying you money for insurance? There's a few methods you can go about doing that. You don't always have to insure the package if you don't want to. And if you are curious as to what I mean, feel free to stick around to the end of the video, or at least listen to what you need to hear. And then if you're not interested in the Lego section, then skip to the end and I'll give you some thoughts on that. All right, without any further ado, let's get right into it. I'm going to first show you what you should have for an insurance policy. With any online store, I recommend having an insurance policy with your store policy. In this case on Bricklink, it is with my store terms. There's a section here called insurance, and this is where I have everything written out. I have a small online store, so this is not a super professional document. If you have a larger store, you're selling many things online and growing, I would recommend consulting a professional. They could help you write up a professional document that will be more protective. My insurance policy is rather basic. It is really just a small write-up that lets my customers know what options they have for insurance. I like to start off and be friendly and say that less than 1% of my orders have been lost. This is true, and I think it's reassuring to customers so they can understand, when they should or should not purchase insurance. Then I do have the verbiage in there stating that if you choose not to buy insurance and your package is lost, I will not refund you. I'm always happy to work with a customer and work with the post office and figure out where their package is and maybe, refund them half of it so they're not at a complete loss and I'm not at a complete loss. But I like to have this policy written up because I have lost full orders before where I've, lost the product, lost the money, and it's very frustrating. So it's good to have a policy in place. And then you could also write things in here saying, every priority mail order is insured for $50 and, you can insure the rest of it and so on. Again, this is not a super professional insurance policy. I recommend you look up templates or samples online if you're looking to get more information or write up your own. Now that you have your insurance policy down, it's time to understand what can I charge for insurance. So, what is the United States Postal Service charging? What is UPS charging? That's a great question, and here are the charts that you need to know for that. Here's a list for insurance rates on USPS packages in 2022. Some numbers seem to have changed for 2023. I will post new prices soon. There'll be a link in the description when I find them. In the next section, I'll show you that you can play around with insurance amounts when buying a label to see what the cost is in real time, and then you could adjust your pricing based on that. Here are the insurance rates via UPS. They do insure up to $100, which is awesome. I can't verify the other numbers because I don't send through them often, but I'm sure they are correct or they might slightly deviate. Now that you have all that information and you set up these insurance platforms on your site or whatever, somebody eventually is going to spend money on insurance because they want their order insured, they want it protected. So how do I add insurance to an order? Let's check that out on ShipStation right now. When I'm ready to mail, I go to PayPal, I find the person that sent me money, I click print shipping label, it brings me to ShipStation, I put in the parameters of the package, and then I have this option down here where I can input insurance values. If the package is $100, I can put in $100. I put in $160 here to see how it would increase it. Currently, the UPS rates are the same as what I showed in the beginning of this video. Unfortunately, the USPS ones are a little more than I thought they would be. I filmed this portion of the video this morning, so January 6th, 2023. When I find out what the updated prices are for insurance via USPS, I will leave a link in the description. I've used many shipping platforms throughout the years of having a store, and just about all of them have an insurance section. Sometimes there is not an insurance option for smaller packages or things that aren't sent priority or a certain way through that company. Now that you know how to add insurance onto an actual order or a label, let me get into Bricklink and show you how I add insurance onto my orders and then how I give customers an option to purchase insurance. When you're in Bricklink and you want to add shipping methods, go to the shipping section under My Settings and select the shipping option that you want to add insurance on. For this example, this is my first class shipping option. Down bottom here is where I can add insurance rates. As you can see here, they vary between the cost of the order. There is currently not a way to add insurance based on a percentage of the order in Bricklink. You can only add or charge insurance based on the cost of the package or cost of the order total. You can add many lines here to charge insurance based on different pricing. If you want to charge insurance every $5, every $10, it increases, whatever you want to do. But your final line will just have an amount that says above, whatever number that is, will be charged a fixed rate. That was a first class package. It would be very rare that that number would exceed even a couple $100s. So I left my final line at $300. For priority mail here, it's the same. I'm actually adjusting the first one here to be $0 up to $50 because that is already insured. So if they want that insurance, they can just select that for free. It will obviously already be insured. And then the ones after that are increased based on the cost or the value of their order. Hopefully this is helpful. It's very simple to add. The only feature or thing you need to understand about this feature is that you have to update insurance for each shipping method. I had to change or add this for each one: priority mail, first class, international, whatever it is, you name it, padded flat rate envelope. Each one has an insurance option. They can all be the exact same one. You just have to go in there and edit them for each individual shipping method. And here's just an example of what it looks like prior to you adding insurance. It's just this little tab. You add insurance and you can add multiple rows and then input your values. Quite simple, just a little time consuming in the beginning. And once you get the hang of it, it's very simple to adjust this for any of your shipping methods. Hopefully that was helpful. You can add insurance on any category of shipping or any shipping method you have. And that's the only other maybe irritable thing about it, is you have to add and adjust insurance for each shipping method. Here are my final thoughts on insurance. If somebody is spending money and they're purchasing insurance from you, they want their order protected. Really two options. Option one, add the insurance to the shipping label. You pay for it. If the item gets there, great. All right, spending that on insurance didn't necessarily matter, but at least you had the comfort of knowing that the package was insured if anything was to happen. Option two, you don't purchase insurance on the label. You could save that money, not purchase the insurance, and then if you do that for multiple orders, somewhere down the line, if somebody orders something from you and they purchase insurance and you don't insure it and it gets lost, you can take that money you have saved up and that's the money you use to pay them. It's kind of risky, but I sometimes like doing that method for smaller orders because eventually I'm going to have a customer that buys something, doesn't buy insurance, and then is going to keep filing claims, and eventually the other company is going to send them money and I'm going to be the one that gets screwed in the end. So that is why I sometimes hold on to money for certain orders. That way I'm holding on to that insurance money, and that's kind of my money. But when I do have a package that gets lost, I will spend the money I have that I've saved up from the insurance people pay me, and I'll give it back to this person. So then it's a win-win. The hardest thing, I've talked about insurance policies in the very beginning of this video. All you really need to know is you have to stick to your policy, but occasionally, though, when you're dealing with other, third-party programs where you're sending your money that way, they will most likely oftentimes favor for the customer. It sucks. It's not necessarily fair, but it is how it is in this world. It's like if you buy something on Amazon, it doesn't show up, they pay that back, and then the sellers, they're out that money. It's just how that works, and that's why if you sometimes save up this insurance money, it will just help you then in the future. Instead of adding $2 onto every single package, keep pooling that money up, and when you have a problem, then you can just dish it out to that person. If I have a really large order, I will insure it, but for smaller packages where, okay, if it's $20 or so, I can afford to spend some of that insurance money if the package is lost and pay this person back. That's another way to gear it. If you have an order that's $200, spend the $2 on insurance. But if you have a $15 order, you don't need to necessarily spend the $2 because hopefully, 1% or less of those orders get lost, and then you could take that money that's saved and then, send that to the person that lost the package or that it didn't arrive for. Hopefully that makes sense. If this video is helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you want to see Lego content. And if you're an online seller, feel free to also subscribe. I'm posting videos every Friday for Bricklink. Those might also correlate and help you as an online seller. Well, thank you for checking this out, and we'll get back to you real soon. Yeah. Tuesdays are train videos. Yeah! Lego, my Jameso.